Hello everyone, and welcome to what I believe is the final instalment of the TJ Clune vlog, a reading in the lives of puppets. I can only apologise for how long it's taken to get this one uploaded. I sort of forgot. Anyway, the majority of this one you're going to see me at a summer camp I was volunteering for back in July, a kids summer camp, and of course we did the bit of glamping, and it was great fun. You'll see what we got up to throughout our 7 days there, as well as a little trip to Camden afterwards. So sorry about the background noise, but here's a little pan over of the first night in our tent. It was just making sure everyone was set up and ready, and then the next day we went through this scary cornfield, which is like Children of the Corn, but the end goal was awesome. We got to see how cows were milked, and we went around the farm. I would say the Wednesday was an exceptionally early start, but to be honest, for all the camp leaders and volunteers, we had to get up pretty early anyway and make sure breakfast and everything was ready and everyone was accounted for. And we also had night duty, so we had a little light glowing in our tent, so anybody that needed help in the night knew where to go. But yeah, it wasn't hard to get up, even if we stayed up late, which I stayed up late really maybe one night when we played some games. It was okay to get up early, you know. I didn't feel, it was just, you was getting up with the day, with the nature, and it was great. So this day we had a really cool activity planned for the children. We went out to do some kayaking and paddle boarding, and also some group activities where they were building rafts. So we went to like a local, it wasn't like super close, we couldn't walk to it, so we had hired coaches for a couple of days where we like drove them, but yeah, it was great. They were really engaging with the children, the kids loved it. It was great team building skills, and we had a little picnic there too. On this particular Thursday, we went to this museum that was local to the area, and the whole idea was how we used to live. So you will see a bit of Punch and Judy coming up. I'll speed through it because it was still quite violent, but the kids loved it, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but it was definitely interesting to see like how culture has just developed in this part of England over time. They were also filming an episode of the repair shop, so we couldn't actually go in and have a little look around. That's my cousin's head, but we could see sort of from the outskirts what they were doing, and then we went in and had a look around some of the little houses that they had, and to see what sort of stuff they were teaching at the schools. I really took note of the different architecture and seeing how that developed over time, which I thought was pretty cool, and it was just really enjoyable to see the children engaging in the whole experience as well. Especially we had like a kind of find and seek, or where they had to find different things on the farm areas and around the houses and stuff. You've been calling me daddy lately, want me to put her in Cartier's, and the deserve it, put in work for the money she earn it, give me top every night lip service, now I gotta block these, she worth it. I'm out in Abu Dhabi, with a bad look like Skybree, ooh, right beside me, in the phantom off that body, yeah, Abu Dhabi, with a bad look like Skybree. Right beside me, in the phantom off that body, yeah, Abu Dhabi, with a bad bitch look like Skybree, ooh, right beside me, in the phantom off that body, yeah, Abu Dhabi, with a bad bitch look like Skybree, ooh, right beside me. A day home now, and after work on an early shift we decided to go up to Camden. I'm sorry, you can hear my little budgie at work making some noise. So here's a little Camden trip. So many manga shops. Oh my gosh, I was in heaven. We went to about 2. Fantastic. And this Hans and Gretel shop, it was a sweet store. Look at the attention to detail, how fantastic. I have just finished in the lives of puppets, and it was so beautiful. It took me so long to get through, but I think I predicted that at the beginning of what has now been a multitude of mini vlogs within this big vlog universe series. So thank you, by the way, for staying on board for that. whilst I was off gallivanting and figuring out the best way to chop it up into segments that made sense to me when I realised it was going to be a much bigger vlog than I was expecting. Before I get on to my final thoughts, after reading the author's note, I'm curious as to what TJ Klune was alluding to when he said this wasn't the book that he had initially thought. He has a sensitivity team now, and he, you know, wished that humanity was ready for the book that he wanted to write. Is this on the backlash of everything coming out of the House in the Cerulean Sea, which I must admit I'm really behind on the news for that. I didn't know about all of that and the themes that it centered around until recently. I don't know, it just went over my head apparently, but I'm very mindful now in picking that up. If I reread it, I want to see exactly what was written between the lines. But anyway, yeah, I wonder, it kind of felt a little bit passive-aggressive in a way, the way it was writing, like, oh, humanity's not ready for this, apparently now, da-da-da-da. I don't want to put words into it, but yeah. Anyway, in terms of story, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was heartfelt, beautiful, a fantastic reimagining of Pinocchio, and that kind of concept, but taking more of a sci-fi dystopian feel. The romance was very, very slow burn, very little, but it was powerful and impactful regardless. The family relationships was beautiful, the determination to have everyone together, save everyone, it was just so meaningful. I really, really enjoyed this book, and I'm definitely going to be giving it like 5 stars. So thank you so much for coming on this journey with me, and yeah, I shall catch you in the next video soon. Bye.